What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And I said I would be uploading regularly, and I am now. Hopefully there will be another Liverpool career mode coming out very soon as well. Not quite sure what else I'm going to be starting. I've got a few games, but they're not really like new games, so I wouldn't really want to start any. I'll probably just stick with the FIFA. But without further ado, let's get into this episode about Liverpool versus West Ham United. So this episode is obviously covering the West Ham-Liverpool game, in which Liverpool did win 4-0. It was a must-win game for Liverpool, and it was obviously not really a must-win game for West Ham, considering they were already safe, but they were fighting for something anyway, considering they are playing Liverpool. Liverpool did play in their bright green away kit again, and it did actually look alright. You can actually see the players really well this time. I think it was a game towards the start of the season where we played against Bournemouth, and the sunlight and the camera just didn't link, and you could hardly see the players on the pitch. But it did work out this game. Tactics-wise, Liverpool were the better team. For the first 15-20 minutes, West Ham United did have a few breaks and stuff down the left-hand side of their pitch, and it was a Cresswell versus Klein sort of battle going on there, where Cresswell was actually beating Klein and getting a few crosses into the box. But obviously, Carroll was out injured, and they had nobody to aim for. If Carroll was on the pitch, it could have been a different story. Straight after that 20-minute mark, Liverpool started to get into the game a little bit more. We started to keep possession. We had 67% possession, I think, by the end of the game. And in the first half, I think it was near the 50-50 mark. But after that 20 minutes, we did start to pick up a bit more possession. Our passes were a little bit more fluid, and we started to exploit West Ham's space, especially Daniel Sturridge. Daniel Sturridge did very, very well up front, considering it's his first start since like January time. And he didn't actually stand in between the three defenders. He went over to the right or left side, considering they were playing a wing-back formation, so obviously their players were further up the pitch. All Sturridge did was drift over to the right, collect the ball over there, take on a defender, get the ball into the box somewhere where Origi could have been there, Coutinho could have been making a run, and then we'd have a chance on the goal. Coutinho did this very well. We didn't really do that at all, it didn't really work out, but it was just good to get a little bit of pressure on West Ham's defence. About 10 minutes later, on the 35th minute, Coutinho was on the halfway line, played a beautiful ball through to Daniel Sturridge, and Daniel Sturridge just did a little step over, took it round Adrian and placed it in the net. A brilliant goal from Daniel Sturridge and a great ball from Felipe Coutinho as well. He was outstanding. Then the half-time whistle went. We did have a few more chances before that, but they weren't really huge chances. And just before half-time, Andre Ayew did have a chance from a corner. The ball was whipped in from the corner. Lovren, it bounced off Lovren, went to Ayew. From 2 yards out, he missed and hit the post. Bounced back out to him again. He slid down, hit the post again, and then Mignolet gathered the ball up. So it's probably missed the season there from Andre Ayew, and that could have been 1-1 going into the half-time. Luckily, we did get away with that. Second half, Coutinho did step up as Wijnaldum took a volley and it came off the bar. It was headed away by Reed, came out to Coutinho, took around 4 players, placed it into the bottom left corner, and it was a great, great goal from Felipe Coutinho. About 4 minutes later from that, West Ham did have a corner. It was whipped in. Wijnaldum jumped up for it, and it did touch his arm, but it wasn't deliberate handball. He was just trying to get into the air like that. As he was doing that, his arms did get raised, and he did elbow Ruben Reed in the face. It was nothing serious though, it was just a little tap, and any player would have just stood up on their feet and got on and carried on with play. Ruben Reed, why am I saying Ruben Reed? Reed did go down on the floor, he was lying there, the referee, the crowd were booing, the referee carried on play, Liverpool went on the break, there were 6 players of Liverpool up there. West Ham United, like half of their team was already back, there was about 3 defenders back and that was it. And then Coutinho got it, he dribbled round the players, they just didn't try, they were all stood still, and he placed it past Adrian to make it 3-0. After that we did command the game. West Ham United had no chances at all, and then it was whipped across from Sturridge. Sturridge played it through back to, I think it was Lallana, bounced off Lallana, went to Origi, and Origi placed it in to make it 4-0. It was an outstanding performance from Liverpool, considering there's a lot of pressure on us to get the top 4 this season, and we just need to get that win against Middlesbrough to get that top 4 position. Now we're going to go on to the player ratings. Now the player ratings of this game is a little bit mixed, because there were certain mistakes and there were certain outstanding players on the pitch. The first player I'm going to go for is Simon Mignolet in goal. The first half performance from Mignolet was brilliant. He took an easy save early on just to grab the ball up high, and he did take out Lovren in the process of doing that. Then he made a great save down to his left hand side, which he saw late as well, so he palmed that away for a corner. and then he did command his area from then on, and then West Ham obviously didn't have any chances whatsoever in that second half. And for that reason alone, I'm going to give Simon Mignolet a 7.5 out of 10. Next player is our right back, Nathaniel Clyne. Again, he struggled a bit in the first half considering Cresswell was taking it around him all the time, but he did put in a great defensive performance, and there wasn't really enough going forward from Nathaniel Clyne, to be honest. He could have played balls down the wing to Sturridge if he was in those right-hand positions, but he didn't. He would stop, play it back to Wijnaldum or Matip and just play it simple. He did have a passing accuracy of 92% throughout the game, so that is the reason, just playing simple passes. But I'm going to give Nathaniel Clyne a 5.5 out of 10. Joel Matip, probably our best defender on the pitch. In the first half, he did have a chance, which was a free header from a corner, which he should have scored. He headed it into the ground, it bounced up, hit the underside of the bar, and then West Ham United cleared. So that was a good chance for Matip to score, but he didn't. And he then made some good defensive tackles, commanded the area again with his head from corners, and he did make a very good defensive display, so I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. Now his partner, Dejan Lovren, I'm going to give him a 5.5 out of 10. The reason is because he did look a little bit shaky in the first half. There was obviously a mistake he made from the corner where he just stood there helpless, bounced off him, Andreo hit the post. So that was a little bit lucky from Lovren there, but he did command his area in the second half just like Matip did, and we put on a great defensive display. He was heading away and making some great tackles, and he did command the area to keep a clean sheet. Now the worst rating on the field I'm going to give to James Milner, our left back. I'm going to give him a 5 out of 10. And he did work very hard in the first half. He was pressing the right winger, and he was pressing in and keeping possession for us, especially when we lost the ball. He'd win the ball back really well in the first half, but he was totally ineffective when he had the ball on the left hand side going forwards. He couldn't make a pass, he couldn't cross the ball, he couldn't take on a man, he was losing the ball a lot. And there was a moment where the ball went up in the air, he controlled it and he went out of play, which pretty much sums up the game for James Milner, to be honest. And he did finish the game with a passing accuracy of 77%. Which isn't very good at all. Now, one of the shining players at the moment from this season since Jordan Henderson's injury is Emre Can. Now, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. Now, the reason, he just did absolutely everything in the centre of the park. He made some great tackles, he was pressurising their attackers as soon as they won the ball back, and he'd win the ball back really easily as well. He played a few good balls into Coutinho and Sturridge, and he also played it out wide really well as well. And that is the reason for his 7 out of 10. Now this might seem a little bit low, but I'm going to give Gini Wijnaldum a 6 out of 10. The reason, because the first half he didn't do absolutely anything. The ball didn't come near him, he did touch the ball just a few times, he didn't really do anything in the first half. But he did come out of the half-time dressing room and he did wake up a little bit. He had a few brilliant shots. He had the first one, a volley, came off the bar, and obviously that's when Coutinho scored. And then he also did have a few brilliant strikes from outside the area, which Adrian had to make some good saves from. He came out of the game with 2 assists. He did have the first one when we were on the break and he played it through to Coutinho, and Coutinho passed it past Adrian. And then he did have the mishit shot from Origi, which he played in to him to get his 2nd assist of the game. Now my man of the match is obviously Felipe Coutinho. He played absolutely outstanding. He was winning the ball back really well in the centre of the park, especially this new formation where he's playing a central role instead of a left wing, and I think he took up that role brilliantly. He was absolutely commanding. He could drift over to the right, drift over to the left whenever he wanted to, and he could also play it through to Sturridge, who was making some great runs as soon as Coutinho got the ball. Now obviously he came out of the game with 2 goals and an assist, which is unbelievable from him, to be honest. It was a great pass to Sturridge to open the scoring, and then it was 2 magnificent goals from Coutinho. As it shows, we need to keep him in the summer. And I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. Another quite low performance is Adam Lallana. He did play very, very well though. And as soon as Coutinho got the ball, he did play brilliantly. He made some great runs for Coutinho to follow him up. And he just played tremendously well, making runs. And probably the only thing that didn't give him a higher rating was probably a goal or an assist. Other than that, he played terrifically well. He had his neat footwork that he normally does, little step overs, little fakes, stuff like that, and he did play some great passes into Coutinho and Sturridge again. It's just a shame he didn't get a goal or an assist in that game. Another player who's going to be a great player in the future is Divock Origi. I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. He did partner Sturridge up front for the first half and the second half, and he did play terrifically well. He obviously got himself a goal in the second half to make the 4-0 win and seal the win for us. And he just played very well. He made some darting runs to leave Sturridge open, and him and Sturridge did link up very well in the first half with a few good shots and a few good passes going on. Now, obviously, the last player left is Daniel Sturridge. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 for the reason he did score a great goal at the start, a little step over and put it past Adrian, and he's back. He did his dance, and Sturridge is back again. So hopefully he's done another week of training this week, so he should be back for the Middlesbrough game as well, considering if Bobby Firmino is out or not. And it's just good to have Sturridge back. I don't think he'll be staying in the summer though. It would be good if we were to keep him, and his fitness was a little bit better now, so we can actually play him a lot more. At the start of the season, he did play a lot of games, but obviously leaving out through injury, and it's just a shame that he had those injuries throughout the season. He could have scored a lot more goals for Liverpool. And then we did make 3 substitutions. There was no ratings for these guys because they did come on very, very late on in the game. The first one was obviously Lucas. Lucas didn't really do much because he came off as Sturridge. He just hanged around, passed a few balls about. Same with Woodburn, and it was same for Marco Grujic as well. They both, obviously, all 3 of them are great players this season, but they didn't really do much considering they both came on in the 89th minute. Final rating is obviously Jurgen Klopp. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. He got his tactics spot on. A little bit iffy on the first half considering he didn't really think about the defensive display, but obviously had a good chat with him at half-time when we came out and got 3 goals in that second half and sealed the win. I do think we will be getting top 4. We've just got to beat Middlesbrough. Hopefully we can get the tactics right for Middlesbrough, and I would keep the same lineup we did play against West Ham against Middlesbrough. The reason because we can exploit it, but the problem is Middlesbrough will probably be sat back quite a lot at Anfield, so we'll have to be patient and Felipe Coutinho to step up when he needs to curl a shot into the top right corner. But I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 just because he's very, very good. And that pretty much sums up this episode, guys. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like, subscribe if you're new. There will be some more episodes of this coming out. Obviously, it's the last one next week, and that will probably be coming out on that Wednesday instead of a little bit later this time, just because I did have a bit of problems with the camera. Comment down below if there is any other games and stuff you want me to play, because I'm struggling for content here. Currently all I've got is FIFA and this. I will be doing an end of season review on Liverpool as well, so we can see if we did get that top 4 position or not. And I will see you guys later. Obviously hit the like button again and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys later in a bit.